in the chaos and fury of war, where heroes are forged in the crucible of battle. Some of the most profound acts of courage happen far from the front lines. This is the story of a woman whose bravery wasn't measured in enemies defeated, but in lives saved. A story of compassion so fierce it became a shield. The makeshift hospital, a converted barn, was perpetually overflowing. In the midst of this despair stood Emily. She wasn't just a nurse, she was a force of nature. Looking at the faces of the men entrusted to her care, men who couldn't walk, men who were unconscious, men who depended on her for their very next breath, she made a choice. As the other staff packed up and departed, a heavy silence fell over the barn, punctuated only by the groans of the injured and the growing roar of the approaching conflict. Emily, along with a few loyal volunteers who were inspired by her resolve, stayed behind. Emily knew their chances were slim. If the enemy overran their position, their fate was sealed. Yet fear was a luxury she couldn't afford. She spoke to her patients in hushed, reassuring tones, changing dressings, administering what little morphine they had left, and holding hands, offering comfort in what could be their final moments. She became their guardian, their protector, a final wall standing between them and the horrors of the war outside. Hours felt like days. The sounds of battle grew deafeningly loud, shaking the very foundations of the barn. At one point, a shell struck nearby, showering the roof with dirt and debris. Panic began to set in, but Emily's voice cut through the fear. She began to sing a soft lullaby, a simple melody from her childhood. Her voice, though trembling, was steady. It was an act of defiance, a beacon of humanity in a world gone mad. The singing spread a strange calm through the makeshift ward, a moment of peace amidst the pandemonium. As dawn broke, an eerie silence descended. The battle had moved on. Peeking through a crack in the barricaded door, Emily saw not the enemy, but the familiar uniforms of a friendly patrol. The counterattack had been successful. They were safe. When the soldiers entered the barn, they found a scene that would be etched into their memories forever: one nurse and a few volunteers. Exhausted but resolute, surrounded by the wounded men they had refused to abandon. They hadn't fired a single shot. Their victory was in the quiet, rhythmic breathing of the men they had kept alive through the night. Emily's story is not one of grand military strategy or tactical genius. It is a testament to the quiet, unyielding power of compassion. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest courage isn't found in facing the enemy, but in refusing to abandon those in need. She stood as a final wall, not of stone or steel, but of pure, unbreakable humanity. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of unsung heroes. We'll see you in the next video.